Hi there and welcome. You're about to watch a Lakehead International live webinar. It is a great way to explore what Lakehead University is all about. In this session, you'll hear insights and stories from Lakehead professors, staff, and current students. While watching, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. For now, let's dive in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar session in admissions and applications. My name is Hardik Anarika. I'm the International New and Social Media Officer. And today we are diving into a topic that almost every student wants clarity on, which is how to apply. We are going to walk through everything that you need to know: admission requirements, program prerequisites, language tests, the key documents that you'll need, and of course, how to actually navigate our online application systems. So by the end of the session, you'll have a clear step-by-step understanding of what to do and where to start. So as I mentioned, the agenda for today will be very simple. We'll be talking about studying in Canada, steps to enrolling, and also going through our undergraduate and graduate application portal. If you have any kind of questions, you can just put it in the chat in the Q&A section below. And don't worry if I know it can feel a lot of information, but we'll go through it slowly and make it as simple as possible so that you do not feel overwhelmed. Okay, so Canada is honestly one of the best places in the world to pursue education. You need to understand where you're choosing to study and not just what program or university, but what country. So Canada is very safe, it's very peaceful and incredibly welcoming. We take a lot of pride in being inclusive and multicultural. So no matter where you're from, you'll find people from your own community, people from different communities, food, the culture, that will make you feel like home. And that's something that we hear all the time from those international students, that Canada starts feeling like a second home surprisingly fast. We are also recognized globally for the quality of life here. Canada consistently ranks among the top 10 greenest countries in the world and top 11 for peace. So when you choose to study in Canada, you're not just getting a great education, you're also stepping into a supportive, sustainable, and also globally respected environment that's going to help you grow both professionally and personally. One of the biggest advantages of studying in Canada is that you can also work while you study. So international students can work up to 24 hours per week during the semester and also full-time during scheduled breaks. So after you graduate, Lakehead programs qualify for up to a 3-year post-graduation work permit, giving you the chance to gain valuable Canadian work experience. And if you're also thinking of even further ahead, completing a Canadian university degree also gives you extra points when applying for a permanent residency. So now that we have talked about why Canada is such an amazing place to study, let's narrow the focus a bit down and talk about why Ontario stands out as one of the most popular choices for international students. So Ontario is actually the #1 destination for international students in all of Canada. And once you see the advantages, it's not hard to understand why. So for starters, every public university in Ontario, including Lakehead, is fully accredited and follows some of the most rigorous quality assurance standards in the country. What that really means is that no matter which Ontario university you choose, you can be confident that you're earning a degree that's respected globally and also meets the highest academic standards. And then there's one of the biggest selling points, that is the career outcomes. So Ontario has the highest graduate employment rate in Canada at 94.1%. And at Lakehead, we are proud to go even higher, which is 96.2% of our graduates who find employment within 2 years of finishing their degrees. So those are the kind of numbers that show how strong the connection is between education in Ontario and also the real world success. All right. Let's get into the steps to applying to Lakehead. So there are 4 major steps to get started, and while we have listed them in a logical order, you do not have to complete them in that exact sequence necessarily. So the important part is making sure that all 4 are covered before you enroll. So here they are. First is meet the admission requirements, then meet English language proficiency requirements. After that, you need to apply online and then submit your documents. So let's take a closer look at what each of those steps actually involves. So when we talk about meeting admission requirements, we really mean that you understand what they really are. You don't need to have everything finalized before applying. As long as you're on track to meet the requirements before your program starts, you are in good shape. So for graduate applicants, you need to have graduated or to be on track to graduate from secondary school, which is high school. So we are looking for the Canadian equivalent of at least a 70% average. Some programs may have additional prerequisites depending on the field of study. So for example, if you're applying for the fall while currently being in grade 12 and you're set to graduate in May or June, you can absolutely apply now. Just make sure to send us your in-progress transcripts and then we'll review them to determine the next steps. Now, for graduate applicants, you should have completed or about to be complete a four-year bachelor's degree from an accredited university. The typical expectation is the Canadian equivalent of 75% average or about a 3.0 GPA on a 4.0 scale. Like undergraduate programs, some graduate programs may also have some prerequisite. So you just have to check those and you do not have to worry because if you need any kind of additional information, our team will reach out to you to guide through the entire process also. Now, this is a really important part of the process, especially for international students. We want to make sure that you are set up for success in an English-speaking classroom. So for undergraduate applicants, you have about 5 ways to meet the English requirements. And those include you have studied in an English language school system, or you have completed one of our accepted language tests like IELTS or Duolingo and achieved the minimum required scores, or you have completed Lakehead's academic English program through our language center, or you have completed an ESL program at one of our approved pathway partner schools, or you have passed a senior level English school or English course in your home country. So we offer multiple options because we know that every student's path is going to be different. So if you're applying directly for a graduate program, we'll typically look for 3 years of study where English was the language of instruction. Other ways to meet the requirements include successful completion of one of the approved language tests or completing Lakehead University's academic English program. Talking more about it, so if you're applying directly from high school, we'll look for 3 years of study where English was the language of instruction. So it doesn't matter if English isn't the official language of your country. For example, if you have studied at an English language school in Nepal, that would still count as long as your courses were fully taught in English. So if you're transferring from college or university, here's what we look for. 1 year of study at a university, or 2 years at a college, again with instruction in English. And in these transfer cases, we also ask that your country's official language is English. Moving forward. Since English proficiency is so important, let's go over this in detail. So we accept a wide range of test results like IELTS, TOEFL, and Duolingo. Each has a minimum score that you'll need to meet. So now let's say you fall just short. You do not have to panic. We have an academic English program here at Lakehead where you can upgrade your English and also move directly into your degree once you meet the requirements. So important note, some programs like nursing education, health sciences, public health, and psychology have higher English proficiency requirements. So you have to make sure to double check if your program is one of them. Now, when you're ready to start your application, you need to head over to lakeheadu.ca/apply-now. So this is your one-stop spot that you'll find all the application links, program details, and also all the most current deadlines right there. Now let's take a closer look at those deadlines. So for fall 2026 intake, the first round consideration for most programs going to end on March 1st, 2026. For graduate programs, we recommend applying by February 1, 2026. Many graduate programs fill very quickly. So once they do, they close. So applying early is really important. The main takeaway from this is you do not wait until the last moment. So the sooner you apply, the more options you're going to have. And remember, if you have any questions, our team is ready to help you. If you're curious about some specific graduate program and want to know if there's still space, the best place to check is our programs page, which is lakeheadu.ca/programs. That page is updated with the latest information on which programs are open and which may have closed. So once you have submitted your application, what's next? It's time to get your documents in. This part is really important to make sure your application can be reviewed completely. So for graduate applicants, we'll ask for official transcripts from your current and most recent school, English language test scores if required, and in some cases, additional program-specific documents as well. Talking about the graduate applicants, will need official transcripts and proof of degree. Also, English test scores if applicable, and also supporting documents. Now, these may vary again by program. For example, your resume, your statement of intent. Once you are in the application portal, it will actually show you a checklist of what's needed for your specific program, and so it's super easy to follow. All right. Since you're ready to apply, let's start by visiting this page and the lakeheadu.ca/apply now. If you might want to bookmark it because this is where your journey will officially begin, and this page will lead you directly to both our undergraduate and graduate application portals. So before you apply here are a few of the things that's going to make your application go smoother. You need to select 2 program options. Yes, 2, because that's included in the cost of applying. So we always encourage you to make the most out of it. So for example, if you're interested in business, but also have an eye on psychology, this is your chance to keep your options open. So I would suggest set aside at least 20 minutes to complete the online application in one sitting. You can save and also return later, but we recommend completing it all at once just to avoid missing out on anything or forgetting something. And lastly, have your payment method ready. So once your fee is paid, your application is officially submitted and then sent to our admissions team. Once you're on the portal, you'll see a screen that looks like this. You'll scroll down to create the account button. If this is your first time applying through the Ontario University application system. Next, you'll be asked to enter your given name, middle name, and family name, then your date of birth and your email address. Now, this is the part which is very important. You need to make sure the name you enter matches your travel documents, especially your passport, because this helps us to match everything correctly with your immigration paperwork and ensures that your offer letters and also any kind of official communication don't create any issues at the border later. So if your passport has 2 last names or a specific middle name, make sure those are included as well. As for your email address, please do not use any kind of spam account or any kind of email account that you do not check very often, because this is how we will be contacting you about your application status, any kind of missing documents, offers of admission, and any kind of other time-sensitive updates. So pick an email that you will be actually monitoring and make sure that it's spelled correctly. Next up is creating your username and password. So here's a quick tip. Use something that you'll remember, like a combination of your first and last name. Your password should be strong with a mix of letters, numbers, and symbols if possible. And if you're not sure what to include, just click the question mark icon next to each field, and it will pop up with guidelines to help you with the system requirements. Once your account is created and your application is submitted, you're officially in the system, and then our admission team can begin reviewing your file. Now, let's take a look together at how the undergraduate portal works, and we'll walk through a sample application step by step. Perfect. Now, if you have been paying attention, you'll notice I have mentioned this a few times already to go through lakeheadu.ca/apply now. You have to save it and bookmark or write it down, whatever works for you. So if you forget, no stress, just head over to lakeheadu.ca. You can go to international, then click on future international students. And then there's a big purple button called apply now. Just click there. And then you will be able to see both undergraduate program portal link as well as the graduate program portal link. Let's just, for the sake of today's session, we will be clicking on the apply now button for undergraduate programs. Let's just go through that. And once you have come on this page, you can see that Ontario University's application center page is there, and then you need to log in. So I will just log in with my own credentials for now. Now, once you're on the application portal, you need to click on, you'll be able to see the welcome page, which is the dashboard. That's the very first page you'll land on. And this page gives you basic details about your application and a few other helpful notes. So from there, you need to move into the introduction page, which is right here in the bottom, proceed to introduction. So you can just click on introduction. From there, something you'll notice on every page is that you have two ways to move forward. Either you can scroll down and hit next, or at the bottom, or you can use the navigation bar on the left-hand side to jump between sections. Now, on the introduction page, you'll also see a short overview of Lakehead and just kind of campuses that we have, any kind of programs that we offer. You can just read about it and get a basic overview of Lakehead University. Now, once you have done that, you can just click on proceed to browse programs. Now, this is where the actual application process starts. You can select your programs for the undergraduate application through here. Now, quick side note, the Indigenous Access programs you will see listed are only for Canadian Indigenous students. So as an international applicant, you will want to choose from the degree programs available. So let's say you already know what you want to study. Let's say you want to go for business. Let's just click on business right now. The system will ask you to choose a major right away. So you do not have to worry if this isn't set in stone. It's just for your first year, and you'll always have the flexibility to adjust later. So for this demo, let's just pick business, and then you can go ahead and fill out the program details. So there will be a program code, which will be automatically provided to you. Then program title, which is business co-op available. You can choose the expected date of enrollment. For the sake of today's session, we'll choose 2026 fall-September intake. And they will ask you again to put your major. So it depends on what you want to do. You want to do admin or commerce, so you can just go ahead with whichever one you're interested in. I'll just put admin Aurelia for now. And then the year level, it is already populated, which is first year. You need to save the program. So when you click on a program, this is a tab that will come, and it will show you all the program choices that you have made. Since I mentioned earlier that you can choose another program which is included in your application fee, so let's just go ahead and add one more program. Let's say you want to do psychology also, just as a side, program that you want to add. You can see all the program details. You can check the admission requirements here. If you want to visit Lakehead University and just get more information, you can do that from here, as well as some additional program details. If you're interested to know more about psychology, what the program offers, the curriculum, you can just go ahead and click there and just read through it. Then you need to fill out all the other details, again, program details, program title, then the expected date of enrollment. We'll be choosing fall, 2026, fall, September. Then comes the subject of major interest. You can choose any major interest that you want from here. For today, I'll just choose psychology, arts, Thunder Bay. Now, over here, they will ask you for a year level. It's either first year or advanced standing. So for a year level, you will choose either first year if you're coming right from high school, or advanced standing if you've already completed some post-secondary studies. So if you do choose advanced standing, that lets us know that to review your transcripts for possible transfer details or possible transfer credits. So let's just say that I choose advanced standing over here. Now, at this point, I can also go back and add a second program, as I mentioned. So we have added both of our programs right here. And let's say you want to make psychology your number one choice and you want to make business your number two choice, you can do that from here. So let's just say you are putting the number two over here, and for psychology, we are putting number one, and then let's just save that, and then it's going to switch. So it totally depends on you what your preferences is, and then you can just select that and then click on save. Once you have saved all of these things up, so you can proceed to personal information. So here are some of your details that are already filled in from the initial setup, like your first name and last name. If you don't have, you can just manually enter them. You'll have the option to add a title, a preferred name, or a formal last name, your first name, last name, family name, middle name, all of those personal details. I would suggest to add it according to your passport, as I mentioned again. And then they will be asking you for other details like gender, date of birth. You just need to fill all these things up. Whether your parents or guardians attended university or college, you can choose that, yes, no, depending on your status. And then following that, they will ask you for citizenship and language information. So for most of you, your citizenship status will be study permit. And country of citizenship, it could be anything, any country that you are looking for. So for today's sake, let's just put Nigeria again. And if you're not born in Canada or date of entry into Canada, you can just put that. And then your first language should be English. So if you're applying for fall intake of 2026, then this section should include 2026 August, because that would be your possible date of entry into Canada. And then you click on save and continue. Once you have saved that, they will ask you to just review your personal information. And if you're all good with that, you can proceed to the next step, which is the contact information. Here, you'll provide your home address, your mailing address, and your phone number. So your email will already be listed, but you'll need to still verify it. That means checking your inbox for a confirmation email and clicking the link. And for your address, start by selecting your country, postal code, fill in the fields, street address, all those things. So let's just say you have to click here and add. You have to choose your country, province or state, address, postal code, city, etc. And if your mailing address is same as your home address, you can just check this box and copy it over, just to go ahead. And then you can click on save and continue. For today's session, I'll just not be filling out all these details. I'll just click on cancel for now. And then for your phone number, you just need to click here to add your phone number. You need to click here, select your telephone type. Let's say it's home or mobile, and then you need to put your telephone number. Just a side note, you need to just put the numbers, no dashes, no special characters. From there, you can, just once you have done that, you can just click on save and continue, and then, move along. So moving ahead, you'll be moving to the applicant type task of today's, and then they will be asking you a lot of things. So let's say I'm applying you can click through from all these options. So you'll be putting international student applying to a full-time undergraduate program. Now, have you contracted the services of an accredited academic agent? If you are going through an academic agent, you need to select yes. If you're not going through it, then you need to select no. You can skip it as well. So if you say yes, then you need to fill out all these information because it will be required. So you need to put your agent name, your agent ID, branch office, email ID, etc. And if you're not going through an agent, you can just select no, and then these options become null and void. Like you do not have to fill it, it's not mandatory. Post that, they will ask you a lot of other questions. If applicable, provide the year you previously applied and or the year you previously registered. So the system will then ask you if you have ever applied to Lakehead before or registered for any courses with us. If that applies to you, include the year so that we can match up your file. And after that, we'll get to the academic background. So let's say you applied previously in 2025 and you got registered in 2025 itself. So you can just put that. If it's not applicable to you, you can just keep it as it is and then move on. Click on the Save and Continue button again, review the content that you have added, and then proceed to academic background. Once you are on this page, this is where you list every school that you have attended, your high schools, your post-secondary institutions. That means your regular schools, private schools, night schools, summer schools, or any kind of online schools that we have. One tip here is you do not need to list your school board's virtual platform, just list the actual school name. So let's just add an high school as an example. Let's click on Add Institution. Let's say it's high school. Start your, we can just say like, okay, we started in 2020 of May, and then we are expected to graduate in 2025 or 2026 of May. Then your institution location, wherever part of the country you're from, you can include that. Then your institution name. Let's say your institution name does not populate. Let's say for today's session, let's just put a country for now. Let's say it's Nigeria. So all the institutes in Nigeria will populate over here in this. And if your school or your institution is not listed in any of this, what you can do is you can just go to the far end of the list and click on the section called Not in List, which is this one. Okay, so once you click here, another field will populate wherein you can manually add your institution name. Then your country, city, all the address, and highest level achieved. It just highest level achieved. And then field of study, any kind of diploma or degree program that you have, degree type that you may have, you can add that here. You also need to select the diploma and degree length. You'll be asked to fill out all these details, whether it's already completed or not, what was the length of the degree. And then they'll also ask you for the status of the degree, whether it's already completed, expected, or not expected. So for example, if you're finishing high school in May 2026, you'd still select expected. Once you have entered all your institutions, on the next page is the transcript results. So for this step, let's say you have put expected, then you need to put the date when you're expecting it. So let's just put 2026 May, and then you can select save and continue. I will not be saving and continue right now. I'll cancel it because I have not filled out a lot of the fields. So it will show me an error. So after this, we will just proceed to transcript requests, as I mentioned. Once you have entered all your institutions and if you are currently studying in Ontario, you can request transcripts through the system. So if you are studying outside Ontario, your school will need to send your transcripts directly to Lakehead. Okay, so once that step is done, the last step is to review and submit your page. This is where you'll carefully go through everything that you have put down or you have submitted. And also you have to agree to the declaration and move on to the payment page. Once your payment goes through, your application is finalized and officially sent to the admission system. And at that point, you have officially started your journey with Lakehead. So that gives you a full walkthrough of the undergraduate application process. And next, we'll be shifting our gears and looking at the graduate application portal. All right. So before we jump into our last Q&A session, which I know many of you are excited for, I just want to walk you through the graduate application process as well. You're at Lakehead, and I'll show you step by step how to get started and what to expect along the way. You can head over to lakeheadu.ca/apply-now whenever you're ready to apply. Before you begin, make sure that you have selected your program, and if your program requires one, have a potential supervisor in mind. This is a very important step because for thesis or research-based programs, course-based programs don't need a supervisor, but you can skip that part. But for research and thesis-based programs, you will need to have a potential supervisor in mind. All right. The application itself takes about 20 minutes to complete, and you'll need a method of online payment ready at the end. Let me take you to the application portal and show you what it's going to look like. And if you've already started your application, you can just sign in at the top bottom and just move on. So I will just start the step-by-step tutorial for the same. So as you can see, this is the Graduate Studies online application portal. You can see the application form. So if you are someone new and who do not have any kind of credentials yet and you want to fill out your application form, this is where you'll begin. So you need to first fill out all your details, your first name, middle name, last name, any kind of date of birth. And if you have the SIN number, that you can add. If you do not have it, that's also all right. When you complete this form, you'll be sent login credentials to your My Services account, which is your student account. Please provide an email address that we can send your Lakehead login credentials to. So ensure that your email address and everything is perfect. Have you previously attended, applied, or been employed to Lakehead? You need to answer whatever your status would be. And if you are an international recruitment agent, you can put that as well. And then click on submit. Once you have submitted it, you'll get all the login details, and then you'll be able to sign in through this portal. So as of now, since I have my login details, I'll just go ahead and sign in. So once you have signed in, this is what the dashboard would look like. Since I don't have any applications right now, we will go ahead and choose, we'll start an application and we'll start with view programs. So either you can, over here, you can search with the list view of all the programs. You can also change the view of over here and just go through all the list of programs that we have for graduate studies. But if you know what you're looking for, and if you want to just dive right in, you can just click on the search programs button over here, and then just type out manually your field. Let's say I want to learn computer science. I will just click here and click on more. Once you click on more, this is the programs page, which will give you a bit of insight about what computer science really is, and just the program details, any kind of specialization, any kind of information they can provide. You can just go through that, and once you have made up your mind and selected that, okay, now this is what you want to do Masters of Science in computer science, then you can just click on apply button right here. Then this is what the page would look like, which will give you all kinds of tasks. So let's just go ahead with one of the tasks. Before that, it will also give you this code, which will be unique to you. This is just a file number so that the graduate team knows how your file is there. So let's just start with one of your tasks, which will go ahead with pre-application questions. So over here, they will ask you a lot of things. You just need to go ahead and answer them. Let's say student status, it will be international for you, most of you. Program of studies would be MSc Computer Science, or if you want the thesis specialization, you can choose that. For the sake of today's session, let's just go ahead with MSc Computer Science. Let's say you want to go for the September, the fall intake of 2026. So let's just choose that for today. Then they will also ask you for options, which is either project, thesis, courses. You can select that through here, either thesis, course, or project. So computer science has all three. If you select theses, you need to put a supervisor, and you cannot put no supervisor because you need to have a supervisor in mind and you need to give their details. Once you have filled that, you can go ahead and move along to the study load. It will be full-time. And over here, you need to select which campus you're looking for. It's either Thunder Bay or Barry STEM Hub. You can go ahead and select whichever one suits the best for you. Let's just select Thunder Bay for today's session. And then you can either mark this as complete or save and continue. I would suggest to click on save and continue for while you are filling out a lot of details, because once you click on mark as complete, you will not be able to change any kind of details, or if you have made any mistakes, you will not be able to change that. You will have to then again start another application. So I would suggest just go ahead and save and continue editing so that you can just come back later whenever you want and make changes. So since I do not have any supervisor in mind, so I will just skip that step. But then over here, it will be shown as entirely green. It's shown half green because I have not filled out the entire form. So you just need to make sure everything is all good before you save and submit. Then next comes the application form task, which is your personal information, any kind of personal details they may ask you. So over here, you'll need to put out your current email address and make sure this is a good email communication and not a spam account, because again, as I mentioned, it will be sent to your Lakehead University email address, and also a lot of information will be shared on these emails itself. After that, you need to click on the first name and you just fill out as shown in your passport. This is a very important step because if there is any kind of error, then it will not be reflecting on your official immigration documents, and then it will be very difficult to change. So I would suggest just take your time and fill out these details correctly. Post that, you can put the birth date, your gender, Canadian social insurance number if you have one. If you don't, that's all right. Then following that is the contact information. Over here, your address type. You can put home, apartment, condo. You can just fill out all these details. And if you live outside of Canada or the United States, please select foreign. So over here, let's say you are outside of Canada or US. So in province and state, you need to select foreign, which is in the far end. And if you live outside of Ontario, you need to select not Ontario for county. So let's just select that. Not Ontario. Again, very far end, not Ontario. And then you can fill out all the other details. Lastly, on this page, they are asking for phone number. So you can select that, let's cell, and then add all your phone number details. Once you have filled everything, again, I would suggest save and continue editing so that whatever details you have filled is saved and it's not gone anywhere, and you can later also make more changes if you want. And then click on next. Then on the left-hand side corner, you can see all the other tasks that are still pending. So over here, it's submission fee. So over here, you need to add your application fee. Upon submitting your application, these fees will be processed in our external system that are found below. So you can just click here to pay. And if you have ever any questions, you can just go to gstudent@lakeheadu.ca and include your application number, and then they'll be able to help you ahead. Once you click here, click on this button, they will redirect you to a payment portal wherein you can add all your information, and then this will be submitted. Now let's talk about some of the other tasks that are there. which is unofficial transcripts. This is where you'll need to add those transcripts. You need to attach file. They have also given you all the details that will be all the instructions that are required for you to fill out when you're filling out your transcripts. So you can just read through those and make sure they are present. And then next, they're asking for an official proof of degree. This is an optional task. If you have a proof of degree or it's still in progress, you can attach it later. This step is optional, as I mentioned. So you can go ahead and view those and attach those files. Next up, they're asking for a CV. So they have given you, again, task instructions, which you need to just make sure that it is present in your CV, and you can attach the file. They have also given you show accepted format, so you know which kind of formats they are looking for. Following that, we also have something called computer science background form. So this is a form that is very program specific. Again, so you need to just download that and complete it and attach it. Next up, we have statement of purpose. This is also a mandatory document that you need to apply to attach while applying. And lastly, academic references. So you need to provide at least a minimum of 3 recommendations over here. You need to submit those. This may be specifically for theses or a year out. So I would suggest you have certain recommendations also handy before you start your application. So once you have completed through all of these tasks, you need to click on the submit button, and then the file will be shared across to our graduate team, and then they'll be reviewing it in the end. Okay, let's just go back to our presentation. If you want to go ahead and watch a few more of our upcoming events, you can just scan this QR code. Just follow us on social media. We are at Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube from Lakehead International. Just if you want an insider view of what Lakehead Live looks like, the campus stories, or anything that you would want to know the life of a Lakehead students, you can just follow us on social media. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for joining today, and we hope to see you in the future webinars and also maybe someday as a Lakehead student. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. You can connect with us on social media. You can find us at Lakehead International on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. We hope to see you in our next live webinar. Bye for now.